Hi, this is Joe from Joe's Tech Bits, back with another video on my N-scale trains. I've done quite a bit since the last video. I think I did anyhow, but this is my experience setting up a layout, which is, I guess you could call it almost a temporary layout, where I started with a foldable table 30 inches by 72 inches. Really nice table. Actually, I'll put a link to my first video in the description. In addition to setting up track, I just set up some piers or trestles that I got from Amazon, and I will show you my experience trying to create a tunnel, or maybe a mini mountain. After watching many YouTube videos where people were making mountains and hills and tunnels with paper mache, I thought maybe I could try it. So what I did, I took some junk styrofoam that probably would have gone in the recycle bin or the trash for the landfill. I took the styrofoam and I found that I had a couple little boxes from K-Cup coffee, and you'll see it in my video where I did it. I glued the K-Cup boxes together and glued some styrofoam on top, and from there I put some balled up flyers, you know, like you get in the mail with store flyers. I balled them up and I put a little bit more styrofoam with a weird shape on it, glued it to the top. After that, I started putting some tissue paper onto the whole tunnel. I secured it with Mod Podge and totally covered all the tissue paper with Mod Podge. When that dried hard, then I put a second layer. Actually, the first layer, you can see it in the video, I managed to poke a hole in the one part of the tissue paper, so I just took any old piece of paper and patched it with it and put some Mod Podge to hold it. Then I started and put a second layer of tissue paper. After that, I painted the whole thing with a light brown coat of paint. Then I added a little bit of light green, dark green, and a darker brown, and finally I put some red just for kind of like highlights. I didn't want to put a lot of red, but you know, you look at some mountains, you see a little bit of red if there's a, you know, clay area or something like that. So hopefully you'll like what I did and maybe give it a try. The video at the very end and at the beginning shows the final tunnel, and then I have in between, I have a slideshow of the different phases I went through, the different paints and colors and things. So I hope you'll enjoy this, and if you like it, let me know in the comments and give me a like and maybe subscribe. I just wanted to show you my plans for my layout. A couple things I wanted to try. I got these boxes with K-cup coffees, and if you look at this one end of it, it almost makes a perfect arch for a tunnel or a mountain. And what I did, I cut out the inside to make it bigger, the other end, so that I can put this over the tracks. Now what I plan to do, I glued these two together. There's two of them here. You can see they're from Winn-Dixie, S.E. Grocer's Colombian Coffee, etc. What I'm going to do is take these and put styrofoam, glue styrofoam onto them and make a nice tunnel of it for my end scale layout. This video was in my last video. It shows where I glued the styrofoam onto the K-cup boxes, and I completely covered the whole thing with styrofoam, and you can see top, bottom, left, right, and I showed the portal, what looked like a portal here. I just wasn't sure if that was going to be wide enough to go over the two tracks I have. If the portal wasn't big enough for the two tracks, all it would take is a pair of scissors to cut it out a little bit wider. So no problem there. I put the tunnel on the two tracks just to make sure the entrance and exit was big enough, and looks like it is here. You can see both trains going through, but if it needs a little bit of an adjustment, just a pair of scissors and I can make it any size I want. These still shots show the process I used to create the final tunnel. You can see the balled up paper here and some extra styrofoam. Then it goes into the first layer of tissue paper, which I used the Mod Podge to hold it down. And right there you can see that little bit of yellow on there is where I had to patch the tissue paper where I did the poked it through the hole. Then it goes into the second layer where I put more Mod Podge and completely covered it. Here's where I started the second layer. You can see it was real loose, and then I kind of just made it fit the form. After that dried, you'll see in the next video where I paint the base coat. I mixed up some brown paint. You can see I have some various colors of paint here, and I mixed a little Mod Podge in with the brown paint, and I'm going to start putting some color on my tunnel that I covered with 2 layers of tissue paper and Mod Podge glue. So the brown doesn't look too bad on there. I will add some other colors. I'll add some red and green maybe, just to make it look more like a real mountain. But see, I can just cover this whole thing with brown, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. The next photos show each layer of paint that was applied to the tissue paper. After the base coat, I didn't use any Mod Podge with the paints. Just on some of them I added a little bit of water to thin them out. As you look at these photos, you can see how more and more it starts looking like a real train tunnel, model train tunnel anyhow, or a mini mountain. And actually I was amazed myself that it looked as good as it did. You can try it and see if you can do better than me, but you can see by this video, if I could do it, you could do it. These photos show the final paint layer of red applied, and I'd say it looks pretty nice. It almost looks like a mountain that you could buy at a hobby store. If you notice the bridge in the video, this was something I found in my closet in my train stash. And right there on the corner where the risers come around, I'm going to attempt to put that bridge in. However, it's a straight bridge and I'm going to put it on a curved track. We'll see how that works out. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and also making my tunnel. It's hard to believe I took some old styrofoam, cardboard, tissue paper, and mail-in flyers that I balled up, took a little paint and Mod Podge, and came out with, I think, a fairly decent tunnel, which you can see in this final video. I'm making two versions of this video, one a shorter version and another version with a lot more train footage. I didn't know if everybody would want to sit there watching 20-30 minutes of trains running around the track, so that's why I made the shorter version. If you are watching this shorter version, I will put a link to the longer version in the description. If you're already watching the longer version, then you got it all. So, thanks again for watching this video. Appreciate it, and hope you have a great day, a great week coming up, and we will see you soon in the next video.